Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
And I'm Maxwell, and I'm highly successful.
Today is Friday, February 16th, as we are recording this. We're talking about shit. This is an important episode. You know
We
why?
sure are.
If you read the title, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about that Super Bowl, baby. Let's talk about that fucking Super Bowl. Cause guess what? I have a theory that we need to discuss because the federal government
Is listening.
they are, and they and the NFL are gonna hunt me down and kill me for what I'm about to say. But I
Let's
have
get it
evidence.
over with.
I have
Let's get
evidence.
it.
So, number one, Super Bowl was fucking scripted. Absolutely 110% scripted.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's impressive how much what's his name? Travis Kelce? Is that his name?
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
here's my
How did
theory.
how did he memorize that whole spiel he was gonna give to his coach? That was pretty impressive. You know.
That wasn't part of it. I don't know if that was part of it, but here's my theory. I'm gonna lay it out from beginning to end. So
All right.
what happened at the beginning of the season was that the NFL changed their rules about overtime. Right? They said during a playoff game, it's not going to be first team to score wins. It is both teams will get a possession, and both teams will get a chance to score, and whichever one wins after both possessions wins. Instead of how it used to be, which was sudden death, first score wins. And that's how it is during the normal season, but not during the playoffs. So, during the Super Bowl, this is the second Super Bowl ever in all of fucking human history, in all of NFL history. Out of all 58 of them, only 2 have ever gone to overtime. And they just changed the rules before this time. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get together. Now, the NFL, I'm pretty sure their ratings have been going down for a while because people have been cutting the cord and just not really being interested in football anymore. So, Travis Kelce starts dating Taylor Swift. All the Swifties flock to the NFL, right?
Yes.
Also, I want to iterate now. I want to preface the rest of my theory by saying that Joe Biden released a tweet, a Dark Brandon tweet, which was very funny, where he was like, just like we drew it up, and joking that he was the one who rigged it. I don't think the federal government rigged it. I think this is just an NFL thing. I think maybe the federal government knew about it and didn't care, but I think this was primarily an NFL thing. So,
well, I'm glad you clarified that because we have to address that.
So, the NFL, huge ratings this season for the Chiefs games, right? So they're like, okay, the Super Bowl is going to be $7 million for a 30-second ad spot during the first quarter primetime best time for advertisers, right? $7 million for 30 seconds, right? And I think they get 6 minutes of the normal rules for like a serialized or for like a TV show is 6 minutes for every 30. So what is that? 1/5 of one fifth of the program is advertising. But I think it's a little bit more on sports. So for like live sports, right? So they might get like a little bit more than 1/5, but let's say 20% of that time is ads. And so during that first period, now that Taylor Swift and her boy toy, Time Person of the Year, 2-time Time Person of the Year winner, Taylor Swift.
True that.
As opposed to all of us one-time winners. Yeah, I was making a joke about that with my girlfriend. I was talking about this exact thing, and I'm like, I feel like there might be a power imbalance.
How did you and I end up having this similar conversation?
But I was talking about I think that there might be a power imbalance between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, right? Because she has won it twice, but Travis only won it once. you know? So it's like, isn't that crazy? You know? I
Yeah,
mean, but yeah, Times Person of the Year winner Taylor Swift is there. All of her fans are watching because fucking it's Swifty, It's time to get Swifty.
it
So
is.
they're watching. Fucking was it Blake Lively is there? Ice Spice is there. Who the fuck else was there? I don't know. Alana Haim was in one of the earlier games. That was cool. Um, but anywho, everybody's watching. This is the highest ratings the Super Bowl has ever gotten. And then it goes to overtime so they can stretch it a little bit more and get a little bit more ads in there and get paid a little bit more for that. And it goes about as long as it can possibly go while still having plausible deniability. But they just changed the rules right before that season just to make it go a little bit longer and to make it as tense as possible to keep those ratings up just to have the Chiefs win. And because the Chiefs won, all of the Swifties are going to come back next season, right? Because now they've made football fans, right? So this wasn't a trick by Roger Goodell and the rest of the NFL to jack up as many viewers from the Swifties as possible. So if the Chiefs had lost, Taylor Swift fans just wouldn't give a shit anymore. But now that they've got super duper high fucking ratings on the Super Bowl and a bunch of new potential fans, they're going to be able to like milk that even more next season. You know?
Mm.
But I think once the Swifties stop watching, once like the novelty wears off of Taylor Swift being married to fucking Travis Kelce, because the Taylor Swift bubble is going to burst, right? Eventually, she's going to make the change uh, from a powerful charting artist to a legacy artist, right? Where it's like Aerosmith in the '90s, right? Or uh, like Beatles, like former Beatles in like the '80s and the '90s, right? Like they were big, they were huge, and they charted a lot back in the day. And their new songs still chart, but they're not like hit makers. They're not making waves anymore, right? And I think Taylor Swift, especially with the whole eras thing, I think she knows that she's about to become a legacy artist, right? And I think that that's sort of like she realizes that that's coming in her career, and once that happens, the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing is not going to be a big thing anymore. The Swifties aren't going to watch the NFL anymore. And I think right after that, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are going to break up. Because I don't know if she really enjoys his company. Because, I like him. He seems like a nice dude. Not a whole lot up there in between the ears. You know what I mean?
Oh, what gave it away?
Have you seen his Twitter?
Why would you say that?
He's a himbo. Have you not seen his Twitter? Even before he started playing football. So it's not CTE that's made him, a little dull. He was sort of always like that. And so I don't know if Taylor Swift really likes someone who's not all, intellectually challenging. However, I will say she's not really the brightest person in the world either. But she's certainly smarter than he is. There's like an intellectual gap between them and a power gap between them and a wealth gap between them. And so I guess my main thing is if they do break up, if there isn't like, a fairy tale wedding and all that bullshit, if they do break up, then I feel like Travis Kelce is going to be very, very worse off because Taylor Swift is the most powerful woman in the world, and he's just some tight end. He's a good tight end from what I hear. I'm not really a big Chiefs fan, but he's a decent tight end. It's just he's not fucking special. You know, he's a tight end with a podcast with his brother, I think, and that's it. But
What does that make
yeah,
us?
incredibly influential and highly successful.
All right, I'm just checking.
um, but yeah, also, I had two other things that I wanted to bring up One is involved with football but doesn't involve Taylor Swift, and one is involved with Taylor Swift that doesn't involve football. Which would you like to talk about first?
Well, I think, well, that's hard to choose because I feel like we're talking about both. But,
Right.
uh,
And I feel like we're branching off into two different paths here, and I want to cover both because I think they're both really interesting. One's like a story that I didn't tell. I don't think I told it on the podcast. I might have actually. I think I did. Um, but like I wanted to like reiterate it and see how it related to the Super Bowl. And then another is something that I haven't talked about before that is more current events. So I feel like both of them could be mined for content, but I don't want to like go down one path and then stop and then reverse all the way back to this fork and then go down the other path. You know, I feel like that's going to kill the pacing. But let's see which one we do first. How do we feel about that? Let's talk about the football stuff first,
all right.
and then we'll go into Taylor Swift. So we've got so I'm gonna set the stage, right? It is October of 2022. I am I'm in Indiana, northwest Indiana, or I guess it's just North Indiana. I'm in South Bend. I'm at a Notre Dame game. I'm freezing my fucking balls off. It is cold. It is very cold. It's extremely cold, actually. And Notre Dame is playing Stanford. And let me just tell you, this was the most rigged game I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, there was like so many fucking false penalty flags being thrown. There's so many penalties that should have been called on Stanford that weren't. And then at like the end of the game, there was a bullshit the play clock, the amount of time that is left in the game is still running when Notre Dame calls a timeout. And it's like specifically a time when it shouldn't be running because they called a timeout. So nobody like goes in and is like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how that works. So Notre Dame loses a whole bunch of time to be able to run it back against Stanford, and Stanford fucking wins, right? So that
Right.
ref, absolutely, I swear to God, if we found that ref's name and we looked at where his kids went to fucking college, 100%, I bet one of them went to Stanford. At least one went to Stanford on like a full ride, or at least got in, you know? So somebody look into the ref. It was October 15th, 2022. Find that ref, find out where his kid went, and we're going to expose him to the NCAA. Okay? Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's how I know what a one-sided rigged game looks like, right? Like Notre Dame was actually trying, and like they were getting fucked over. Like they were challenging these like penalty things, and when they did, you know, they would win because they were bullshit. So Notre Dame clearly wasn't in on the rigging, but San Francisco totally was during the Super Bowl. It was 100% scripted. They bribed everyone, and they're like, okay, we know this is gonna suck now, but you're gonna get increased ticket sales because the Swifties are gonna be like, oh, you know, they're doing this whole NFL thing sort of near where I live. Maybe we should go check it out, you know? And so I'm sure they were like, okay, we need the 49ers to make it to the overtime, but they're not going to win, right? And I think the 49ers were okay with that because, you know, they get paid either way. So I think that's what's happening. And I think that is what happened, and that's the situation. And if I go missing before this episode goes out on Tuesday, you know what happened. I need you to follow the money and follow where to Roger Goodell, because I know he's fucking did it, that son of a bitch. And I need you to hold him accountable. Get justice. So if I go missing, you know what happened. I didn't kill myself. That's what I probably did. I probably fucking did. This weather sucks. It snowed today. I'm sad. But anywho, now let's talk about Taylor Swift here, right? Let's talk about Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to talk about Taylor Swift? I would love to talk about Taylor Swift. So, during the Grammys, Taylor Swift released She has decided on the title of her next album, and it's the fucking Tortured Poets Department. That's what she's calling her next album. Like, why?
So she's the tortured poet.
I guess. Apparently. Fucking why? I don't. Is she still 15?
It must be really hard for her.
To be a 34-year-old woman with the mind of a 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it's very difficult. Because now let's compare here, right? You know,
Burning all those fossil fuels must have a real toll.
yeah, they must have addled her mind. But counterpoint, Adele dropped an album. What was it? Release day. It was October. Fuck. It was October something. 2021. She dropped 30, which is this like masterclass of like emotional maturity and growth that like caps off the emotional arcs that she started in 19 her album 19 back in 2008, right? She's mature, she's like reflecting on motherhood and her divorce and all of that, and you know, it's a great album, right? I don't fuck with all the tracks on it, but like there's a few bangers on there. And overall it is a phenomenal, mature experience that even though it's really not made for me, I think like people who can like relate more to it would say it's like one of the greatest albums of all time. But Adele is 1 year older than Taylor Swift. And so Taylor Swift writing her fucking album Tortured Poets Department is really just highlights how much more mature other songwriters are at her age. Because Adele was younger when this album came out, right? Like she was, what, 33 by the time it released? And it's, you know, it's so much better and so much more mature and so much more reflective. And the most reflective that Taylor Swift gets is sometimes I feel like everyone is a sexy baby. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I do not think that she is a goated artist. Even though I would call myself the Taylor Swift fan, I just think that she's overblown, and I don't think she's talented enough to be fucking Times Person of the Year winner 2 times. Okay? She should be a 1-time winner like the rest of us. Although, actually, you want to know something crazy, Maxwell?
What's
The
that?
kids who weren't Times Person of the Year winners are going to college either this year or next year. So like kids who are too young to not to like be Times Person of the Year winners are going to college now.
Well,
Can you believe that?
We know that's why they're not going to college.
Exactly. I think that is the line. Is, you know, if you were old enough to be a Times Person of the Year winner, you know, you're good. You made it. And I think if you're born after that, you're just the scum of the earth, and you'll never amount to anything.
And if you're a 2-time winner like Taylor Swift, you're overblown.
No, because didn't Zelensky win last year? Like the year before?
Yeah, that also makes him a 2-time winner.
I don't think he's overblown. I think he's pretty cool. I just think Taylor Swift is overblown. I don't think fucking Zelensky is overblown. I think he's doing a pretty good job, especially considering how fucking bad we're letting him down as a country. Like, Jesus Christ. If your fucking representative was one of the ones who like is voting against this Ukraine aid package, definitely go vote. Oh yeah, let's. I want to do a segment here since it's an election year. It's an important election year. I want to let everybody know what races are going to be on Tuesday when this comes out. So that way, if you know, like if you listen to it before you're going out and you want to go in and vote, you know, that way you'll know if you're eligible and stuff. So, February 24th primaries. February 20th, 2024 primaries. Uh, uh, I'm not sure if there are any on the 24th. Or I keep saying the 24th. It's the 20th. But definitely make sure you get your votes in early if you can. Get educated. If you don't, go in and make your voice heard. You know, you're wasting your vote, and people fucking died to give you that vote, so you should go and use it because it's pretty cool. Democracy is pretty swag. Would you agree, Maxwell?
Yes, I like democracy.
Uh,
Democracy is got my back.
I love democracy. I love the republic. Hang on. Sorry, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We're saving that for after. We got to talk about we got to talk about that after. So let's hold our horses. I will say, not this week, but next week is the Michigan presidential primary. So if you live in Michigan, take note of that. Get out there. Make sure you vote if you're registered to vote. You probably are registered to vote already. So just go on out there, make your voice heard. You know, if by the way, if you live in an open primary state, I suggest you go as a Republican and vote against Donald Trump and vote for Nikki Haley as the Republican nominee. Because fuck Trump. I'd rather have Nikki Haley, and I don't even like Nikki Haley. So if you live in an open primary and you're thinking about who to vote for, go in as a Republican and pick Nikki. Because if you go in as a Democrat and you vote for anyone but Joe Biden, you're not going to win. Like that's the hard truth you got to learn. If you don't like him as like the Democrat nominee, you know, tough titties. He's an incumbent and he blows everyone else out of the water popularity wise. Like the normal challengers haven't even like tried to run this year, right? It's like Marianne Williamson and Dean Phillips, and that's it. Bernie isn't trying, and fucking Elizabeth Warren isn't trying either. So it's nobody right now, right? So Biden's gonna win the Democrat primary, but you should still go out and make your voice heard. There's still like write-ins and stuff, you know. Participatory democracy is very important. So go out, make your voice heard. But yeah, that's the next presidential primary deadline is Michigan on the 27th of February. So go out and make your voice heard. There you go. That's public. That's public soapbox. Public service announcement. Portion done with. There you go. Did you have
Nice.
anything else you wanted to add to that?
That was pretty self-explanatory, but I will say at the end of the day, it's your vote, and you should
Mm-hmm.
let us tell you who to vote for.
Hell yeah. We're very smart. We're very politically minded. Yeah. Also, your filing deadlines have either already passed or they're not until March. But get informed about when those are, so that way you're registered to go. Because they'll be doing them up until June. Is the last ones? The last states are done with their primaries in June. So, get in and get ready for that. But also make sure you know who your Congress people are. And like get educated on their stuff and register to vote if you want to support them or get rid of them. Because I know there's a couple Congress people who I would like to unseat and replace with someone better. So
For real.
yeah, there's a lot of shitty ones out there. My two senators are okay. I'm not the biggest fan of my house rep, but it's whatever. Um, actually, I've been talking on the on the Twitter account that the my old representative. I used to live in the um the district where Adam Kinzinger was representative. He's sort of famous because he was like one of the only Republicans to like stand up against Trump because he wasn't going to run again because he was getting redistricted. So he was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm gonna vote my conscience, and I'm gonna be like, I don't fucking like Trump. He's kind of a moron. So he's like, all right, let's do that. And I never really was a big fan of him, but like he's been really big on like helping Ukraine, and he's been really big on like talking shit on Trump. And god damn it, when that man cooks, he cooks. He makes it very hard to dislike him. Like I
Mhm.
still do, but he's based a lot. He's really, really, really based sometimes. But yeah, that's that's the shitty part is when you really want to dislike someone, but they just make it so hard to, right? Have you ever had someone like that where you're just like, God damn it, I want to hate him, but like it's like that one meme where it's like the worst person you know just made a great point, and that's just me with him all the time, but he's so based, I can't help it.
Right.
He's really, really fucking based, and yeah, I don't know if you have anyone like that, but shit.
Uh, can't say I do, but I'm sure those people are out there.
Yeah,
Hate them, but you gotta agree with them.
it's true. And fucking Adam, he was actually like in my neighborhood. My mom met him. Like my mom saw him like walking our dog one time, and it was like, "Hey, you're Adam Kensinger, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she was like,
I
"Good on you
hate
for
you.
standing up to Trump." No,
I
she
hate.
doesn't hate him. She thought he's based. And I'm like, he voted mostly Republican down ballot. I feel like we're giving him credit, due credit, fair. Like he put his family in danger. There was a cop outside his house.
That's a
Uh,
good thing.
no, like I'm saying, like he had balls for it, like respectable. He was like voting against Trump, put his family in danger, and that's not good. But like I respect him for it. Like it's bad that like he had to put his family in danger by saying that, but in doing that, like that's respectable, right? You're putting your life on the line. And he had a cop outside his house at all times for like the majority of the time that I was living there. And you know, due credit to him. So he has balls. He's a ballsy motherfucker. But that being said, I feel like we are giving him a lot of credit for that, but we're not giving him derision for the fact that he voted like Republican down ballot 90% of the time. So it's just like, like you're good where it matters, but in a lot of places where it's like you could be better, you're really like coming up last. Like he's
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he was pretty shitty on abortion. Um, he's not the best on guns. Granted, I have weird opinions about guns too. Um, and like, yeah, I don't know. He's not the best example, but like when he's based, he's fucking based, and I respect him a lot. Uh, and I hate that I have to, because Jesus Christ, he is such a fucking he's such a hard person to dislike, because he's right when he's right. He's right when he's right. I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of people feel that way about me. I think that's like the prevailing opinion about me is
Yeah, actually, I do have an answer.
it's
You.
me. But when I'm right, I'm right. You know? When I'm based, I'm fucking based. Um, but yeah, you gotta respect someone when they're right. You can't let your hatred of someone get in the way when you're like, okay, this is when something is clearly right, you've got to be like, okay, you know what, due credit to you. No matter who it is, you got to be like, okay, you did a good thing here. You did bad things everywhere else, but you're right here. And I feel like that would make us intellectually a little bit more honest. But yeah, anywho, democracy, do your part. Um, if you're a Republican and you're in South Carolina, your primary date is February 24th. So go and do that. And then in Michigan, you are on February 27th. And so, yeah, go and take part in those. And if you don't know your state already, there's a lot of them left to go. I think most of them are on March 5th. So definitely see if you're registered. And if you are, go vote. It's very important. Go. Yeah, democracy only works when people participate. So, yeah, I think the record turnout for most voters in a presidential election is something like 60%, right? It's crazy how many people just don't vote, and it sucks. And it sucks when like a few people who have time, mostly old people, the vast majority of people, like if you go by groups of people, the group that consistently turns out to vote the most is fucking old people. And you don't want old people deciding how to run your country.
You're right.
So don't let that happen, okay? Get out and vote and tell those old fucks.
It's done.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So, of the voting eligible population, the highest turnout rate ever was 2020, and it was only 2/3. And I think that's fucking stupid. Everyone should turn out to vote because democracy only works when people participate. So get out there and fucking vote. And but before you do that, listen to the rest of this podcast after the ad break because we do have to go there. So let's fill our wallets, and you fill out those ballot boxes. Hell yeah. This episode is sponsored by Liquid IV, the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. We've been partnering with them all summer, and I've been using it to beat the heat through some of these particularly nasty heat waves. While it was scorching hot outside, I was staying cool and refreshed with Liquid IV and their 12 delicious flavors.
One stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you twice as fast and far more efficiently than water alone, and it also contains 5 essential vitamins and 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks, without any GMOs, gluten, dairy, or soy. Liquid IV is also committed to equitable access to clean water worldwide, partnering with leading organizations to fund and foster innovative solutions with communities that protect both their water and their futures, and donating 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world.
Real people, real flavor, real hydrating. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code IIHSPodcast, all one word, at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code IIHSPodcast, again, all one word, at liquidiv.com. Thank you again to Liquid IV for partnering with us. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no-nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AMANDAREDWINE.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. Hello, we're back. It's a couple days later. We're kind of recording this a little bit last minute. right before Tuesday morning. It is
It is
9.
Monday night.
Yeah, it's Monday night. Our first episode of Atop the Table went out. That was fun. Glad to have that finally out. Good to be vibing on that. Good to see that is a thing that's happening. But let's, we talked about how much we love democracy, and there's one other guy who loves democracy, and his name is Sheev. That's right. We're talking about Star Wars again. Fuck you.
You can just say
Because
Palpatine.
no, his name is Sheev. I like to take the power away from him by
You
calling
like
him first name.
you like to confuse our audiences.
No, his name is Sheev. So, we have watched the Bad Batch trailer. If you haven't, you probably should. At least if you're interested in the Bad Batch. But it's the final season.
Yeah, if you're not interested, boy, do we feel sorry about this segment.
Hey,
Buckle up.
you got some pretty generic, sports jock stuff already. We were talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and the Super Bowl in the first half, and now we get to talk about nerd shit. Okay, that's the trade off. Okay, I can only talk about non-nerd shit for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's
So
about to get real non-political.
damn right. So we saw the trailer, and there's a lot of things that could happen in this season. These are like 13 episode long seasons, and a lot can happen in 13 episodes. So we've put together some bingo cards, as was sort of a suggestion from friends of the podcast, Records of the Republic. Their fellow podcast. They do a lot of Star Wars. Obviously based on the name. And in 24 hours from right now, roughly, the Bad Batch will be out. So we're gonna put this to the test. Our Star Wars prediction knowledge and what have you to the test, because we've created some bingo boards, and we are going to post them on our Twitter when this episode comes out. So you'll be able to see that there. So we're excited about that. We're going to be competing against each other, and we're also going to hopefully, if we can get this right, then I think we're basically Star Wars gods, right? If we can get at least a bingo on here, at least one, if not two, then I think we're pretty damn. I think we should probably be the real owners of Star Wars. What do you think? If we can get a bingo on this,
Sure.
I think getting 5 of these in a row. Damn! I wish I had changed one of my predictions, because it feels
Too late.
it is too late. All right, but let's just jump into the list. So, we're gonna be going in order. We're going to be starting with B1. So in column B, row 1, let's start with what I had in there. And I said that Quinlan Voss is going to make an appearance in this show. I think that is a pretty good prediction, considering we're getting Ventress back.
Cool. I had a similar prediction.
What did you have in B1?
Well, it's not there, but
Well, what do you have in B1?
I don't know. I sent it to you.
Okay. So Max's B1 is, we see another Jedi, not Ventress. All right, fair.
So it's kind of like yours, except
Yes.
almost exactly the same.
All right, fair. For B2, so going down,
For
say
reference, I never looked at his bingo chart.
He did not look at mine. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. This is fully independent from each other. In B2, I say we are going to see at least 4 different lightsabers, right? So I don't know if that means one General Grievous or 4 different Jedi who use a single lightsaber. I think we're going to see at least 4 different ones.
Well, you're one way there.
We saw Ventress. I'll count it if we see Vader's on his belt. I'll count it. But if we don't see it on his belt, I won't. But I think at least 4 different ones. And I feel like that might be one too many. But I don't care. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. What do you have for B2? Palpatine meets Omega. Omega. That's how she fucking talks. It's hilarious. Yeah. Palpatine meets Omega. I don't know if we're gonna have the main villain of the franchise meeting Omega, right? I don't know if she's important enough for that.
Well,
so I would put that on like
that's my prediction.
All right, that is a prediction. I see you put it in B2, so it's not quite as like the one you're banking on. That's sort of like a backup one. In B3, you put Cad Bane kills a named character, please. Parentheses, please, with an exclamation point. He really wants Cad Bane to kill someone.
I really just like he really felt like a shell of a character in both
Season
Book of
1.
Boba Fett and semi the Bad Batch.
I don't feel like he was all that impressive in Season 1. But didn't he kill Ton Wee? So he has killed one named character.
Exactly.
So, all right. All he has to do is just kill another. All right. For mine, I said Rex and Cody reunion. I think Captain Rex and Commander Cody had such a good dynamic during the show, or during the previous show during Clone Wars, that I don't think they can keep them apart. I think Rex and Cody are going to have a bit of a reunion. But I don't know how long that reunion's gonna last.
Right.
For B4, I put Crimson Dawn shows up. I said that just because they have a model for Dryden Voss. Sam Witwer always loves coming back as Darth Maul. Even though he's not coming back as Palpatine, because we know who voices Palpatine. It's Ian. Ian's back, baby. He loves.
Yes, we know this.
He doesn't want to get dressed up in the Palpatine makeup anymore, but he's fine with voice acting because what was it?
Money.
Ian. The other Ian. Ian Abercrombie, who used to voice Palpatine, sadly passed away, and Tim Curry suffered a stroke. So, they just get Ian to voice Palpatine in shows now, and that's pretty cool. And he showed up in person in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And by the way, side note, how sad is that might be the final in-person appearance of Palpatine? You know?
Like ever?
Yeah, it could be. Because, Ian McDiarmid's an old guy. He's been playing the same role for 40 years.
Sometimes that can be a good thing.
Maybe. I don't know. But you didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi that much. So I was saying, like, how sad would it be if that show was the last time you ever saw him, like, dressed up as the Emperor?
Would be an Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah.
I think it'd be okay. I mean, like, I don't know. The bar is very, very low ever since somehow Palpatine returned.
It makes sense. That line makes total sense.
Somehow?
How would Poe Dameron know that? The exact details of how Palpatine came back? How would he know?
I guess none of us know how. That's the point.
But we do, because the next line tells us exactly how he did it. What is it? Dark science, cloning, secrets only the Sith knew. He used dark science to create a clone, and it
He
was a
just
secret
they
only the
just
Sith knew.
filled out the all of the above bubble in
But
the
it's
multiple
true. We
choice
saw
question.
it. We saw all the little clone tanks with the Snokes in them. It's not that much of a leap. It's not that much of a stretch. It's pretty easy. But anywho, yeah, I think Crimson Dawn is gonna show up. I think like Dryden Voss maybe. That'd be cool. I like Dryden Voss. I like Paul Bettany. Um, I don't know. How would you feel about that?
Um, Good for him, but I don't think Crimson Dawn is showing up at all.
Do you think? I'm thinking there might be like more subplots than would be able to, like for them to fit it in there. So I don't think it will fit in. Um, for B4, that was my B4. For your B4, you put Rex loses hard. Um,
Yes, I feel like there will be something that makes him go into exile.
that is my next prediction: is the clone uprising fails. Yeah, there's no way. My B5 is clone uprising fails, and that is one of my cornerstones. So that is going to be. I'm putting it all on black. I'm betting it all on black here. I think they're all fucked. I think all the clones are fucked. So that's my B row. Your B5 is Wolf kills Cody or Hauser. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think no, because Wolf is like he's fine up until Rebels when he betrays the group, and then he instantly is like, "Wait, that was a fucking stupid decision. We're all gonna die for no fucking reason," you know. So I don't think Wolf is gonna kill Cody or Hauser. I think Hauser and Cody are both going to die. I've made that a prediction. I'll tell you when that shows up. But yeah, Cody is absolutely fucking gonna die. And probably Hauser too. But I don't think Wolf is going to be the one to kill them. I think Wolf and Gregor and Rex are going to be like the only three survivors of the clone uprising. Um, for my actually that ties into my I one, which is Wolf and Gregor. I think we're going to see both of them. Um, because so far in Bad Batch we've seen Gregor. They broke him out of prison.
Yeah, it's kind of
But,
lazy. We've already
but
seen one guy in the trailer. That's like if you put down like a prediction of someone who's already in the trailer showing up
wait,
in the
was
show.
Gregor in the trailer or was it Wolf in the trailer?
Wolf was in the trailer.
Okay. I think we're going to see Wolf and Gregor like together. Like I think this is where they're going to get their ATTE and go fuck off to that desert planet. Like that's what I mean by that. But like I think we will see all three of them together. That's my I one. What's your I one? Bail Organa or Saw Gerrera? Um, we saw already, didn't we?
Not in the trailer.
I meant like in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we might see Bail Organa. I think Bail Organa is probably a decent prediction. I think Jimmy Smits isn't really doing anything. But they don't usually get Jimmy Smits for the animated series. They usually get like Phil Lamar, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you think would be more expensive, Jimmy Smits or Phil Lamar?
Jimmy Smits.
Well, what do you think Jimmy Smits is doing right now? Like, is he on a TV show? I don't think so. I
Well,
don't think
he's
he's doing
also
all that
not a
much.
voice actor.
True, that is true. That is true. But I mean, I don't know. I think we're paying voice actors a little bit more. But like he's not in East New York anymore because that was canceled. Yeah, he hasn't worked. Actually, sorry. He has voice acted in Gears of War 4 and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. So, you're fucking wrong. How does it feel? Um but yeah, no. I think Jimmy Smits would probably do it. I'm not sure. But
Well, I
yeah.
don't.
All right, fair enough,
Make
fair
that a
enough.
bingo card.
Yeah. Here's my I too, and I feel like this is the boldest prediction of the lot. But I saw you had one somewhat similar, so I said Hunter dies is my I too. I think Hunter's gotta go. They gotta kill him. Um, yeah, I there's no way he's gonna die. Um, yeah. Um, and you put Rip Marauder. So for those of you who don't know, the Marauder is their ship, is their little shuttle thing, and you're saying it's gonna get blown up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing this ship has survived that long.
Fair, honestly, fair enough. Oh, especially now that Tech isn't there to pilot, you know, that's fair enough. That's actually probably a good prediction. Um, my I3. So this is an important one as well. I said we're gonna see more Krennic. I think they're gonna. So they brought Ben Mendelsohn back to voice him in the season finale of Bad Batch season 2, that two-parter. Ben Mendelsohn was there to voice Krennic. I think they're gonna bring him back. I think they're gonna. I think he's gonna be there and he's gonna be like, "Well, Mister Emperor Palpatine, sir, this fucking Hemlock guy is kind of a moron. But the Death Star is pretty cool. You should give me more money." And he does the thing where he puts his pointer fingers together. I think that's what's gonna happen. That's not my prediction. That's not my full prediction. I just wrote down more Krennic, so he doesn't have to do exactly that. But as long as he shows up, I will mark that off. Your I3. Ooh, I'm not a fan of this one. I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of like any of my predictions.
No, I'm not a fan of it. Like, I don't want them to do this. So you said a Sid redemption arc. I don't. And you put down in quotation marks. You put for giggles.
Goggles.
Oh, for goggles. Oh, I can't read this very well. Okay, that makes more sense actually. Um, you think she's going to say for goggles,
No, I don't think she's gonna say it.
but you think Sid redemption arc. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Honestly, if she does say for goggles, I'm gonna give you the whole fucking. You win. You win if she says that exact line, which I think she will. But I'll give you that whole fucking bingo. You will win if she says that. Um. Now I want to go. I want to skip my I4. I want to go into your I4. Um. They all die except Omega. That's pretty rough. That's pretty harsh. Um.
Seems fair.
All right. I mean, you know what? Fair enough. I think. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if they all died. The one non-annoying character, the only character in the or sorry, the only characters in the Bad Batch who had some depth were Tech, who's dead apparently. I don't know about that, but Tech
From that
and
height, he's probably dead.
no, he figured out a way to. He figured out a way. We didn't see him die, so the rule is he isn't dead. Um. Uh. But yeah, I mean, the only two I liked were Crosshair and Tech, and Tech's fucking dead, and Crosshair's going to die. Um. So okay, I just misread something on here. We'll get there when we get there, but I just misread something on there that I think is very funny. Let's keep going. My I4 was Fennec shows up. Fennec Shand. I think she's gonna come back.
That's a real prediction you put, and you saw the trailer. Did you
Wait,
watch it?
did she?
Did you watch the
I
trailer?
I watched it once. Did she show up in it?
Yes.
Okay, I will overwrite that, and I will put I'll put Fennec versus Cad Bane rematch. How about that? That's fair. That's on me. I should have
That is
watched the
on you.
trailer again. I should have watched the trailer again. But I think Fennec versus Bane rematch. Yeah. There you go. All right, fair enough. My I5 was Zillow Beast armor because they were talking about doing that in season 2 of Clone Wars. So I think that's what they're gonna do. You think for your I5 it is segue into Rebels? You spelled segue in quotation marks. Segue as in like the motor vehicle. I was wondering
No,
if that was a joke there or if that was just like unintentional.
unintentional.
Okay, good to know. My yes, that was our I rows or I columns. N1 for you. You said the batch is hunted for half the season. Um, I think it's gonna be more than that, right? It's got to be more than that. You know, like
Sure.
yeah, it's got to be. Oh shit! Ah, damn. Now I have a prediction that I think they're going to do. And fuck. I wish I made this. I wish I was making this right now because I just came up with a really good prediction, but I don't want to say it until the end. Um so that was your N1. My N1 is Ventress dies for real. Um yeah. I think they're gonna finally give her like an actual death, please. You can because nobody dies from force lightning. It's kind of pathetic. I'm glad they brought her back because dying from force lightning is fucking sad, but she's dead. She's dead for real. And that ties into my next one, which is Echo dies for real. So my N row is just two motherfuckers who die, a free space. I'll go over my last two. It is I think we're gonna see classic stormtrooper armor, and my N5 is set up for another animated show. Uh, what do you think about those?
What was the first one?
Uh, N1 Ventress dies for real. N2 Echo dies for real. N3 free space because it's the middle one. N4 I think we're gonna see classic stormtrooper armor, and then N5 set up for another animated show.
Uh, yeah, I mean, some of those seem more likely than others.
Okay. Which ones do you think are more and less likely?
I think another show setup is probably not going to happen.
Yeah, probably. I don't think Bad Batch gets a lot of viewership. I don't think it makes them a lot of money. I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think they're gonna make another one, which is
Hmm.
sad. But I feel like the quality has gone down since season 6 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know, we're not losing all that much. You know, Bad Batch is good, but it's not great, and a lot of the time it's fucking mid. So it's whatever. And your end row is starting from the top. Bad Batch hunted for half the season. We already said that. Your second row, new clone variants. Um, like they're cloned from another guy or what? Because we saw like some of those like brainwashed clones from
Yeah, like
last
that,
season.
but
Okay.
like something else.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Free space in N3. N4 Crosshair sides with Hemlock. That's odd. I don't know if I am gonna put a lot of stock in that. But I mean, you're fair enough. Fair enough to make that prediction. Um Oh, and the last one, Inquisitor or Purge Troopers. Okay, it took me a second to read it. Yeah, that was the prediction I just came up with. Because I was like, now why would they need to go to Ventress? And I'm like, oh, it's probably because they're being hunted by an Inquisitor, and they think a Jedi can take out the Inquisitor. That makes sense. Um, yeah, so that makes sense. I agree with that. If I had another space, I would put that in there as well. Now, our G column. My G1 is I think they're going to use the James Earl Jones voice AI to voice Vader, right? Because that's what they did for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it sounded pretty damn good, right? So they had like James Earl Jones reading the lines, and then they used like an AI to like clean it up and make it sound more like the original because he didn't really sound right in Rogue One. Um, So I think they're gonna like go in and fix it with the AI. My G2, I think Darth Sidious is going to kill Hemlock. I should have changed it to Vader, but I'm sticking to my guns. I think Sidious himself is going to do it. G3, I think we're going to see real TIE fighters. G4, Tech is going to come back. G5, I think either Kael or Kanan is going to show up. So that's my G column. What do you think about those?
Those sound pretty interesting. I kind of had a similar prediction to like, oh, we see stormtroopers, but you'll
Yes.
see.
Yeah, so we're about to go over that. So G1, Zilla Beast Prison Break. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm down for that.
It's like
Now
the
you're
only it's like the only like reasonable thing in my list for
yeah,
bingo.
I mean you can't lock up a fucking Zilla Beast, so obviously it's gonna get out. Um Now you so for G2 he wrote down Nala Say and then he drew a little dead guy face, right? 2 X's for the eyes and then a tongue. I thought he wrote down Nala Sexy and I was very concerned. I was like, "Oh shit. All right. I didn't know he wanted to fuck Kaminoans. Okay. I didn't know that was your fetish, Maxwell. But I'm glad it's
Yo,
not.
their necks.
Don't finish that thought. Do not finish that fucking thought. Fuck you. Um G3 Star Destroyer. I fuck with that. I think we'll probably see one. Um One bottle episode, nothing in it relevant to plot of show. Fair enough. I think that's probably, yep, that tracks. They love to do filler in these fucking animated shows.
Yeah,
And
I thought that one would entertain you.
yeah, that really spoke to my main criticism of this fucking show is the goddamn filler episodes. R2D2 or C3PO. Fair. I mean, we haven't seen them yet. They have models for them. Might as well. So that's your G row or G column. Finally, let's do the O column. My O1, which is I would say like the most important column. Wrecker fucking dies. I think there's no way they let Wrecker live. He is obviously going to get like some kind of heroic sacrifice and like blow himself up or something, and he's gonna die. O2, I think not only is Boba Fett going to show up, but I think we're going to see his classic armor. So if there's a Fennec versus Bane rematch, then that sort of precludes it. But if Cad Bane does show up, I think it's going to be Boba and Cad Bane fighting, and we're going to see how Boba Fett got the little dent in his armor. 03, I think Gunji is going to come back. If it's not Cal or Caleb or like or if Ventress is gets like fucked up, or I don't know, maybe Gunji gets fucked up by the Inquisitor and they call in Ventress to help them, like even the odds or something. I don't know, but I think Gunji's coming back because everybody loves Gunji. My 04, Cody fucking dies. Yeah, feel like that's simple enough. Cody fucking dies. And my 05, my final prediction is that we are going to get more Tarkin. And I'm very happy about that because I fucking love Tarkin. Tarkin's great.
Put that in your corner.
Yeah, that's my 05. That's my very bottom
Cheese.
one. All right.
Cheese.
And
Anyway, continue.
here's what's really funny is your 05 is my 04. Echo dies early. Yup. They gotta kill him. They gotta kill him.
They gotta kill him.
He's
This
gotta
man's
die.
lived for too long.
He's too good. He's too competent. If they let him live, he fixes the entire fucking galaxy before the OT even happens. They gotta kill him. Number 2, Emery is evil. For those of you who don't remember, like me, Emery is the fucking other female clone of Jango Fett. I don't know if I believe them, but whatever. O3, battle droids fuck shit up. Fair enough. Sure. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like Rex hadn't run into battle droids since the Clone Wars, and that's why in that one Rebels episode he was like, "Oh shit, it's fucking battle droids," you know.
The thing is,
But
we saw them earlier in this show, so I don't see a reason why they can't show up again.
that is true. I guess they did. They brought him in season 2, and so they do still have models for them. The Rafa sisters again. Fuck, I hope not.
I know.
It wasn't even a bad like episode or fight scene that they brought them back in Bad Batch, but goddamn, I hate them. And finally, for 05, you did sequel bait, which is the same prediction that I said earlier that they're going to segue into an animated show. But you know, I guess all right, whatever, fair enough. But yeah, those are our predictions. We're gonna be posting both of our bingo cards over on Twitter. Yeah, so we're gonna be marking off these bingo cards while we're going down and like watching each episode. We're gonna be marking off these bingo cards, and yeah, we'll see who gets bingo and who gets more correct. Because with bingo, right? It's not just about like it's not just like here's the amount you're getting correct. It is here is how likely they are, right? Because you have to balance it based on like the free space, and there's like certain parts on the board where it's not as important but still kind of important, and then like there's other positions where it's very important, like the corners, and it's a whole lot of just like
It's a whole
guessing.
lot of bingo.
It is a whole lot of bingo. It's a whole lot of bingo. We got 13 episodes worth of fucking bingo. So, when that first episode of Bad Batch finally comes out, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be watching the shit out of it, and we're going to be bingoing the fuck out of it. So, hell yeah. You want to do a big red button?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Big red button.
A big old juicy red old button.
Give it to me.
You get to script the next Super Bowl, but everyone knows it was you.
Dude, I'm hitting that button.
But like you get all the hate from every other NFL team's fans.
That sounds great. You know how petty that is? You know how petty like the hate people have for another person's team is?
That is true.
It's so petty. I kind of relish in it. So I would just,
All right, how about this? How about you script like the whole season? Because I said they've scripted the whole season. So
sure, why not? They can hate me for a whole season. That sounds even more interesting.
No, like they won't know until the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl, they know it was you. Like I come on the podcast and I announce to the world that it was you who scripted the entire season.
Yo, let's do it.
Okay. All right. You would press that. Honestly, I don't know if I would, because I don't think I give a shit enough about football. And like I'm not getting any benefits out of it.
I don't, but that's why I would press the button, because I think it would just piss off a whole lot of people.
Well, if I bet on it, like I openly bet on it, and then it was revealed that I scripted it, I'm going to jail, so I can't bet on it.
I don't have to bet on it.
I know, but like I'm saying, like what am I getting out of this other than haha, that one sports team is mad, or like this whole sports team is mad because everything they watched was a lie,
Well,
but
that's
like,
everything. That's everything I get out of it.
That's I know, enough. But I don't think the pettiness is worth it. All
right. Well, that's fine. I can orchestrate the whole Super Bowl on my own.
Sure. Whatever. I mean, we all know that they are orchestrated. I'd rather it be you than Roger Goodell or fucking Taylor Swift or whoever the fuck it was.
Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, the devil you know is better than the one you don't, right?
Right.
Yeah. But that's my choice. That's my decision is fuck the fuck the Super Bowl, fuck the NFL, fuck Taylor Swift, fuck Travis Kelce. Um Fuck everything except democracy. Remember to go vote. That's the recap of this of the episode so far. And also, um, this Bad Batch season better be good, or I'm gonna be really pissed off that I wasted 6.5 hours of my fucking life watching this fucking cartoon for babies. Um, yeah, that's the episode. Do,
Nice.
do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think that was perfect. That surmises everything.
Excellent. All right. I want to thank our patron Justin Connor. Thank you very much, keeping the lights on, keeping the show going. Uh, if you want to get a cool shout out and listen to the first 30 minutes ish of these shows ad free and early, like as soon as they're uploaded, go on over and join our $3 tier over on Patreon. But if you want a cooler shout out and you want to listen to the whole episode early and ad free, along with getting our movie commentaries, you're gonna want to join that influential and successful tier. That's the $5 tier. But yeah, you get to join in early and you get to hear. There's less delay between us being a fucking idiot, and
Yeah, you
saying
get that
dumb
shit
bullshit.
immediately.
You get it as soon as it's ready, hot and fresh out. It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. That type of shit. Yeah, but yeah, go over and join that $5 tier. Also, if you want updates, Q&A, topic suggestions, that sort of thing, we are at IIHS Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Blue Sky, I think, but we don't really use it, so I don't think anyone uses Blue Sky. But yeah, we're on all those. We are at IIHS Podcast. So yeah, head on over, go and watch that. Also, make sure to check out our first episode of Atop the Table. Like we said earlier, that came out Monday, today as we're recording this. So go check that out. That first episode was a lot of fun, and I think it's only going to get better from here. So yeah, we've got a couple more down the pipeline ready for you, and we're going to be recording them every week. And they're going to be coming out every 2 weeks. So we'll have a significant little back catalog in case we ever miss a week. So yeah, you guys will be hearing them every 2 weeks. So make sure to go check them out. And yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else we need to add.
Other than I've been Maxwell, and I've been highly successful.
I guess I've been Kael, and I've been incredibly influential. And this outro is backwards, but I'm not redoing
And we will
it.
see you
We'll
in
see you
the
next
next
week.
episode
Yeah.
next week.
Yep. Goodbye. Love you. Goodbye.